setting it up.
I was I didn't do my duties right. Forgot to get it ready, but now we're good. We're rolling.
We're rolling. Okay, good.
Rolling in my sweet baby's arms.
Yeah, that's an old favorite.
Who did that?
I know Leon Russell did a version of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know who. It's been around forever.
Delaney and Bonnie, did they do
They
one?
probably did, yeah.
Oh, probably. Do you know that one, Pat?
I do not.
No?
So, big weekend for the Hawkeyes. They've got both men and women are playing tomorrow.
They are.
Yep.
I haven't seen the official line. Pat, have you seen the official line for the Iowa-UConn game? Is it around?
I know, but I never look for lines. I listen to other people tell me what the lines are. I never care. I just don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not a betting person, what do you care, right?
Yeah, I'm sure UConn's favored, but I don't know exactly how by many. It would take one simple Google for someone if they want to know to do it, but I don't know.
Nor do I.
And I'm sure the Iowa men are favored probably by 20 or 30, but like I said, I just don't bother to look at that stuff.
So you're not going to Des Moines, are you?
Bonenkamp's covering it for us.
Oh, good.
So yeah, he'll be there. So no, I will not be going to Des Moines because I got to cover the women from home, and that's at 12:30, I believe. And
I believe that's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, John's going to be in Des Moines covering the
UConn by 3.5.
I thought it'd be
no,
way
that is right.
I'm sorry, that's from 2024.
I was going to say, what?
That's not right.
What is it? Easy Fudd and Sarah Strong not playing?
Here, I'll look it up. If we must know, just a second.
I'm going to guess it's around 18, but I don't know.
Why am I getting Final Four odds? Jesus.
I don't know. It's obviously you're looking at old information, clearly.
Yes, obviously.
Maybe if you do Iowa-UConn 2025, that might help. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I hope we can stay with them.
18. That makes more sense.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Then through 3.5.
Yeah, here's 16.5. So yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that sounds about right. I mean,
yeah. They're the number one team in the country.
They are.
Yeah.
And they just blew out USC by 29.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw there was a tough game. UCLA and Cal Poly. It was like 108 to 27.
Wow, to 27.
So
wow.
It was in that bad. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Pat, is Adam supposed to call in today?
Yes, at 9:30.
9:30. Okay.
Approximately 9:30.
Okay.
Well, that'll be good. It's always good to talk to him.
Yeah.
Not a lot to talk about basketball-wise because we haven't any games.
That's true. It's been finals week.
But we can preview. I mean, the men's game tomorrow is going to be.
No, it's a foregone conclusion.
It's not going to be. Bucknell's 3-9. They're not very good. But St. Louis was supposed to be the opponent, but Ben didn't want to coach against his friend, so they got out of the contract.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, that's what he said at the press conference.
Yeah.
I'm going to write about that today for the Advance. He just said he didn't want to. So that's who they scrimmaged instead. And they were in a bind. They didn't have time to really get anyone, so they were able to get Bucknell. And, it is what it is.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello. Is Juju Watkins hurt?
Yes, she blew out.
She can't play this year.
I don't think she's going to ever play women's college basketball again.
I think you're right. Yeah. If she's
hurt that bad?
Well, she
blew her knee out.
She tore her ACL.
And she
won't. My gosh.
She can't play at all
I
this
knew she
year.
hurt herself.
Yeah, this happened months ago.
Bad.
Yeah.
This happened last season.
Yeah, I knew that, but I thought by now she'd be ready to play.
She doesn't want to risk it.
Can't say as I blame her.
And for the first time ever, the NCAA volleyball championships will be between two SEC teams.
Wow.
Okay.
Who's that?
Kentucky and Texas A&M.
Pittsburgh lost, huh? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Texas A&M beat Pittsburgh, and Kentucky beat Wisconsin.
Now, is this beach volleyball, Karen?
No, this is plain volleyball with clothes on.
Do you watch beach volleyball? Do you like it?
I watched it.
I have too.
I keep thinking, my gosh. Number one, I wouldn't care to be out in public dressed like that, but then those girls look good, so.
Well, they do, and yeah, we're not 23 and skinny
Tip-top
and
shape.
in tip-top shape.
That's tip.
And I was sad to hear that LeVar Woods is leaving.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I guess I'm not shocked, and I'm a little bummed that it's within conference because I know how good he's going to do. He's going to do well.
Sure he will.
Is this a move up?
Yeah, he's assistant head coach.
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing Seth Wallace is at Iowa. I think the moment Seth got that promotion, LeVar started looking. That's my theory.
Well, I'm hoping that the girls can do better than fall by 18 points. But I'm not sure how good Connecticut is, and I'm not sure about the people that they've been playing.
Well, UConn is great.
They're really good.
Yeah.
And they've been playing better. They've been playing pretty decent opponents.
I mean, USC is a top 10 team, and they beat them badly, 29 points or something.
Yeah, I heard that.
They're as good as advertised.
Yes, they are. And there aren't a lot of weaknesses there.
And you think the guys should win by quite a bit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least we'd have one win.
Well, we get to watch them both at least. Don't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't have to
One's
stream
in the
them.
evening and one's in the early afternoon.
Yeah, it's 12:30 on Fox. You watch the girls and the guys at 5, and then the Bears and
Big
Packers.
Ten Network.
Bears and Packers at 7. So
Yeah.
good day of watching sports.
Good day to watch it. Now, is today supposed to get warmer?
Not today.
Yes. Isn't it? Yeah, it
31.
is.
31.
Yeah, but I mean by tomorrow is when it really starts to happen.
I mean, it was 8 degrees when I was walking the dog this
Well, yeah, it'll
morning.
be warmer than that.
Yes, supposed to get up to 31.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be nice.
But then, like by Christmas, the Christmas Day forecast that I have says upper 50s.
Upper 50s?
Which means no snow.
No snow.
No snow.
That's all right. We had.
Oh, well,
we've
that's
had our
okay
share.
for me, too. When you get older, you don't give a rip whether you got snow or not.
Well, that's where I'm at, Karen.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to run to Des Moines or Clive and stay with a sister-in-law,
Oh.
Bob's wife.
Oh,
Oh, good for
okay.
you.
I'm going to go spend Christmas with her.
Good for you.
Well, good for you, and you have a very Merry Christmas. I hope we
Yeah,
talk to you before
same
then.
to you, and I'll be looking forward to listening to what Adam has to say.
All right, us too.
All right.
Okay, goodbye.
Thanks, Scott.
Take care, Karen. Yeah, those suburbs of Des Moines, some of the whitest cities in America.
Yeah. Well, that's a.
Well, the suburbs around here aren't real dark either. I mean, we're in Iowa.
What? What do you mean?
I mean, we're in Iowa, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 out of every 10 people in Iowa look like us.
Well, that's true. That's not great, Pat.
I hadn't really thought about it. I really don't care.
Okay.
There are 9 apartments in my complex, and I'm in the minority.
Yeah?
And I don't give a rip. They're all everybody. We all get along. Everybody's nice. Doesn't matter.
That's great. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
God, I haven't lived in an apartment like that for like 30 years.
I got
boy,
the
it's
sweet
been-
spot. I got the sweet spot. It's on the ground floor and it's in the back, and because it's like kind of buried in a hill, I've got insulation all around, so it doesn't get too cold or doesn't get too hot.
And you don't hear the rap played at ear-splitting volume ever?
The neighbors that we have now are not like that. I had a neighbor that was a landscaper, and in his off months, he would play video games at full volume, and they weren't, they weren't fun ones. They were violent ones. So it was like I was being strafed and bombed on a regular basis at all hours of the day.
One of the reasons I don't miss apartment living.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I did
Gosh.
it like maybe 3 years combined. 1 year in Des Moines, West Des Moines, and then 1 or 2 years here. Lakewood Hills Apartments, God, years ago.
Lakewood Hills.
They had fireplaces, but they were starting to kind of go downhill when I moved in. I was told they were really nice in like the 80s.
I think the last time I lived in a an apartment was when Ann and I first started going out. I had a place, and ironically, her mother lived 2 floors up.
Oh, really?
Just had broken up with her father. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Wow. Yeah.
That was the last time. Then a few years of trailerdom.
Yep. And now you're.
Never had the privilege of living in a trailer.
Well, we lived in a couple of trailers, and then when we came off the road, we bought a mobile home in Modern Manor.
Well, that's what my buddy did. He liked it.
And oh my God, it was like the Taj Mahal compared to some of the motels we stayed in.
Oh, I'm sure.
I remember he bought his in Minnesota, and they drove it down from Minnesota, and he ended up selling it like 3 years later for maybe $2,000 less than he paid for it. So he got most of his money back.
Yeah, they don't appreciate.
No, not at all.
But they don't depreciate like cars.
No.
If you keep them up.
No.
No, and it was nice. I used to watch their dogs. It was right in Modern Manor, and you go in, take a left and a right, and boom, there was this place. But this was, 25.
Yeah.
This was like 25 years ago.
Well, Ann and I have always said if the wheels fall off, we can always go back and buy a nice mobile home. And
well, if the wheels fall off for you, then God knows where I am. If that's a stock market crash. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's hope it doesn't happen for any of us.
Yeah, we don't need that, especially
no.
Especially as we age.
Because you take away the stock market, I got nothing, pretty much.
Well, got
equity in my house, but you can't live on that.
Got a little bit outside of the stock market.
I don't have much at all.
Outside our house, but not much.
I don't have much outside the stock market in my house at all, and I'm probably like most people.
You are like most people, yeah.
So, but no, the LeVar Woods thing, that thing was happening again. I still say and I'm not saying he was bitter or whatever. I mean, Kirk made Seth Wallace the assistant head coach, and I think LeVar had to think, there's really no advancement for me here now. I got to go somewhere else. Pat's given him that opportunity by making him assistant head coach.
And Pat knows he's getting a good one.
Yeah, and if LeVar's probably thinking, I go here, we have success at Michigan State when Kirk retires, I will have a decent chance of maybe getting an interview for the job. And I'm sure Seth is probably thinking in the back of his mind that he someday may replace Kirk, and we'll see. I mean, I've said before, I think they should go outside the family tree. Now LeVar is sort of outside the family tree now.
Yeah.
And if he goes and their special teams are just on fire, they start getting great punters and returners and what have you, and they have major success, that he's going to be his next job will be a head coach. So it will be interesting to see. But I'm still not convinced that Pat's just going to overnight turn that program around. One thing they have working for him is that Michigan's in trouble right now.
And it is good timing as for Pat.
Yeah, Michigan is in disarray right now. So when they're vulnerable, Michigan State usually has an answer for that. So we'll see.
But it is interesting. I kind of have a fair amount of respect for Pat Fitzgerald. I don't know how much of his troubles at Northwestern were real.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, they were real. The story happened, but
I don't know how much
he claims he doesn't know about it. But see, to me, that's lack of institutional control. That either way, it's not good.
Yeah.
He either knew about it or he didn't, but not knowing about it is not a good head coach either.
That's not a good excuse.
If all that stuff's going on, but it worked for him. Supposedly, all the baggage has been dropped, and Michigan State believes in him. And I think he did a good job at Northwestern. Don't get me wrong. But his last 2 years, guys, they were 4-20.
They weren't very good.
They were 4-20. They went 2-10 in both years. Were terrible on offense.
4-20 is a great song by Stephen Stills.
It is.
But no, they were terrible on offense his last 2 years. So we'll see. I mean, LeVar obviously is looking at this as career advancement. He's going to be 48 in March, and I'm sure I didn't look up exactly how much, but he's going to end up probably making $500,000 more a year. I'm guessing with this, he'll be in well into the millions as an associate head coach.
Because he made, about
I think it was 800 or so, something like at Iowa. And my guess is he's going to almost double that with
Which ain't hay.
with this new position. And it is interesting that he's going to another Big Ten school. Iowa does not play them next year, and I don't believe
we do.
I know they don't. And then there's a chance they won't play them in 27 either, which would kind of be nice. It'd be nice to kind of stay away from them for a while. So, but no, it's going to be interesting to see what he does there. I mean, it was weird too because nobody knew about this. Hell, I tweeted it 2 minutes before Pete Thamel did because Iowa broke it.
Yeah.
I was told by Sports Information they knew a half an hour before the press conference because I wasn't going to stick around for Kirk. I was going to go home. There was about a 35-minute. I was going to go home and watch Kirk on YouTube. And then when I'm leaving, Matt White just said, "Hey, where you going?" And he didn't. I kind of got the impression, you might want to stick around. And I'm glad he did that because they knew then that Kirk, because it was weird. Kirk had answered 5 questions, then all of a sudden he just stopped. And then he says, "Hey, I got some news for you." And then he announced LeVar, who was in the back of the room. Then LeVar came up, and we interviewed him for a while. Then they kind of did a reception line afterwards, and we all kind of gave our good well wishes and whatever. I shook his hand. Others hugged him. I mean, some of the sports writers were emotional. They were hugging him, and I'm not a hugger in those situations.
He gave a nice shout out to Mike Claus.
He did when he started his press conference. I thought that was nice, and. But yeah, I didn't realize how close some of the people in the media were to him. I mean, it was just. I mean, these were the kind of hugs, when you haven't seen like a family member, the double pat on the back, and I'm like, no, I think I'm just going to shake a hand. That's not, which either that's fine. I guess I just didn't know how much he meant to some of the people in the media, and this is a career move. This is career advancement. It's a business, and that's all this is. He's trying to position himself to climb the ladder because he wants to be a head coach. And there's same reason Dan McCarney left Iowa for Wisconsin. Same reason Barry Alvarez left Iowa for Notre Dame. Same reason Bill Snyder left Iowa for career advancement.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan McCarney probably would have stuck at Iowa if Bill Brazier said, "Dan, I'm going to retire after the 91 season." But Bill went till 95.
Yeah.
I mean, that was another 5 years, and there was nowhere for Barry Alvarez to go. I mean, Notre Dame, Lou Holtz made him their defensive coordinator. That was his next step to becoming a head coach. Iowa didn't have that, though, and that's the same thing with LeVar. Kirk chose Seth Wallace over LeVar. I'm guessing if Kirk had made LeVar the assistant head coach in 24, he'd
Seth
still
would
maybe Seth. Well, I'm not saying Seth would have moved on, but I'm saying LeVar would still be here. Is what I'm saying. But he didn't, and that's Kirk's decision, and more power to him. And now everyone is going to kind of go their separate ways. But you could tell, though, there's still a lot of mutual respect between Kirk and LeVar. They had a nice, warm embrace. I mean, Kirk, it wasn't just the media hugging LeVar. It was also Kirk gave him a nice embrace before LeVar took the podium. But, yeah, that was a classy move by LeVar to send a shout-out to Mike, who obviously was not there at the press conference.
Yeah. Hello.
It's Greg calling from Chicago.
Hey, Greg.
Pat, mostly I'm calling, but I agree with you. I've called about this before. I just think the Fitzgerald thing, again, it was a little more reported here in the Chicago area. Just being absolved of it, I just don't think is a true statement.
You're fading in and out, Greg.
I'm sorry. Just being absolved of it doesn't. I agree. I mean, either he knew or he should have known.
And either one's not good.
And I'll even one up you on the bad record. If you take out the COVID year, he was 3-24 in the Big Ten his last 3 seasons.
Yeah, no, it was not trending well. David Braun has done a better job at Northwestern than Pat Fitzgerald was doing. He really has.
Yeah.
He's done a good job.
He really has.
LeVar leaving is I think disappointing, but I totally understand, and maybe he'll follow the same path that Kirk had to leave to come back as a head coach.
Yeah, no, that very well could happen, and they'll get somebody good on special teams because right now Iowa special teams is a good job. They've got a great brand going.
The other thing with LeVar too, if he really wants to be a head coach anywhere, his only coaching has been at Iowa. So probably getting some other experience.
Well, it's also good that he's going to do something besides special teams because it's hard to find a coach who's risen the ladder to become a head coach by strictly coaching on special teams. By making him the assistant head coach, that's going to involve more responsibilities that will show whether he can do it or not.
And then probably you'll get to it, but I'll go ahead and change the subject. What do you know on the whole Emily Rodriguez thing? I just think it's kind of
Well, I mean,
the only thing that's been
Jan was asked the other day if she's still on the team, and she said yes.
Has the university released anything about this? She's been indefinitely suspended, is not joining the team in New York. But
have they released that?
I don't know that the Hawkeyes. It's come from
I
everywhere else.
But I'm not.
Talia Goodman, her.
Unless Iowa releases it, man, I'm not comfortable putting something like that up on Hawkfanatic. I'm just
and fair enough.
Fair enough, because early on there was people in the media that cover him saying she was out with a back injury. I never said that because I don't know.
Yeah,
and
I said the first I saw of it was Talia Goodman. Either she's pretty reputable.
Yeah, Jeff Goodman's daughter.
I don't know how reputable it is anymore, but I think the Gazette had something, and the story seems to kind of gone with the indefinite.
So, but I don't know I don't know anything.
I didn't go to Jan's press. I didn't have anyone at her press conference this week, but I still haven't seen Iowa release anything.
Yeah. It was just weird. She had that, well, I guess horrible game, although she still had a big basket, and then she just kind of disappeared after that.
Well, they said she was injured.
Well,
I mean, Jan for over a couple of weeks said she was day to day. She kept saying she was day to day, that it was injury related. There was nothing. So that's why this is just, I'm just not comfortable putting anything up yet.
No, that's what I mean. It went from she's injured, now she's suspended. So
I think what probably is true, Jan has been saying it's day to day, whether it's back related or whether it's something else. But it's a situation that, as far as anybody outside of the basketball program can tell, has not been resolved.
All right, guys, thanks. Always enjoy the show.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I did read something about, for violating team rules.
Yeah, here's Talia. Yeah. Emily Rodriguez will not be making the trip to New York with the team for their game against UConn, a source told On3 Sports. She's currently on an indefinite suspension due to a team violation of rules. This came out less than 24 hours ago. According to the source, Rodriguez has the opportunity to rejoin the team if she recommits to the standards. I mean, but why won't Iowa release that she's not made? It's just
okay. I'll ask you that. Why would everybody else have that in Iowa and not say anything? I mean,
I don't know if everybody else has that. I mean, I haven't put anything up. I mean, message boards don't count. I'm sorry. That doesn't count as anything. Twitter doesn't count as anything. If the Gazette has something.
I saw something.
Okay, but I mean, but that doesn't mean Iowa still hasn't released anything.
Yeah.
So, but no, don't, just because something's like on a message board and stuff, that doesn't mean it's
Pat,
new.
I don't get all my information from the
But no, what I'm
board.
saying, though, is like Talia Goodman's report, that's just a tweet she put out with one source, and it'll be interesting to see. But eventually Jan or somebody from Iowa, I think, would have to make some type of statement if she's not there in New York.
Well, you would think
because nobody in the Iowa media is going to cover it, and there's not going to be any Iowa media in New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's pivot here. We've got Adam Haleska on the line. Hi, Adam.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
We're doing good, Adam. How are getting all ready for the holidays and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I thought we were going to have a white Christmas, but this stuff's melting. I'm kind of excited about it.
Well, you're going to have to go north for a white Christmas, friend.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, it is amazing. We had a foot of snow a couple of days ago, and then when we get to Christmas, it's going to be probably in the 50s.
I know. I mean, we were trudging around through 15 inches of snow not long ago, and it's amazing how fast it melts. And like I said, I'm a fan of that with sports and everything else going on and Christmas travel. It'll be much better if we got warmer temps and not dealing with all that snow crud.
So, haven't had a basketball game for a while. And I was gone the last time you talked with Pat on this show. So, what are some of your thoughts about Ben's first year at Iowa here?
I'm really excited. I think it's been a really good start. Obviously brought a lot of his Drake personnel and some of his recruits over. Players and staff, and I just think they've done a really good job. That Iowa State game. It's a tough environment, and not that there's moral victories, but I think he had to really appreciate what he saw, given from those guys. They put a lot of pressure on Bennett, and a lot of other guys stepped up, and I thought there was some real maturity all around, not just, from one or two guys, but just the team, kind of the way they were gritty, battled back, when, it's an excuse, but when they shoot 23 free throws to your 5, that's a big difference. I think in a lot of statistics and a lot of categories, we did what we needed to do to win that game. That's a big difference, and ultimately that's kind of what the difference in the game was. But we still had our opportunities. There was a loose ball on the baseline that, maybe if you had a timeout, you could review it if it went off Iowa State. We had the little tip from behind. I think Howard kind of it just went right kind of by his legs, and Iowa State ended up landing on it. But, man, to be right there against the number 4 team, and I truly believe they're a top 3-4 team in the country, I liked what I saw from those guys.
Well, we certainly put up a great fight, and yeah, because especially after the Michigan State game where we really didn't measure up in that game, I didn't think, and boy, yeah, but then turn around with Iowa State, and we were right there, and in fact, obviously in the first half built a big lead, and it almost felt like, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Yeah, I think they were a little shook. I mean, obviously this is a different kind of Iowa team, all new personnel from what they would have seen a year ago, and they've got a lot of guys that were returning. But our defensive pressure, just aggressiveness, we were patient when we had to be. I thought we looked for opportunities when we needed to, and again, just all around solid effort. But again, I think you use that as motivation to carry forward into just a tough Big Ten season. I mean, we're going to have, you look top to bottom, there's just so much, so many good teams out there. So there's no real free nights, no nights off. You got to come ready to play. But I think this group, again, they're growing, they're maturing. You're seeing some of these guys find a niche or find a role. And so I think heading into the new year, I'm excited, as well as I think all Iowa fans should be.
So the foul discrepancy, do you think that isn't a conspiracy against the Hawks, or what was? How do you read that as a?
Anytime you go like on the road, I think the Michigan State game just did not go our way from the tip.
The officials had nothing to do with it.
With a little bit of a lead, but they were allowed to play a little aggressive. We had a couple, fouls, whether they were fouls or not. You get guys in foul trouble. You could just tell some of our screening action, some of our guys were just a little hesitant. And then when they went on that big run, was it 17-1?
Mm-hmm.
You just whatever game plan you thought you had coming in, throw it out the door. And I've been in that situation up there at the Breslin Center. I mean, multiple times where, I thought we handled Michigan State pretty well when we played them on a neutral court, when we played them at home, in the Big Ten tournament. Like, you felt like, hey, here's our game plan. But up there, within the first 5-10 minutes of the game, if you're down 10 or 12, it's a hard place to come back from. And you got to appreciate, right, Izzo's got his hands around the officials, and he's buddy-buddy. Like, he's got he knows how to work it. And, we just got to come out and you got to make shots, and that was not a game where we could put the ball in the hole. And so you got to stop the bleeding at times. But I think at Iowa State, we played with a confidence level. We fought. We were gritty. And again, to come out in the second half, I thought Iowa State did a great job of I'm sure the halftime speech was, all right, we haven't faced adversity like this yet.
That's what he said.
Got to get up in them. That's intense pressure. Let's make it difficult. And again, it's crazy that, one side of the court, I felt like there's a little bit of leeway. They're a strong, mature team, and, to come up short against a team like that, it stinks, but I feel like that you can use that tape, use that game as motivation for the back end of the year.
Well, TJ said at halftime, he told, we haven't been in a situation like this, guys. This is adversity. We got to accept it. And I'll give them credit. They came out and scored the first 16 points in the second half. And I thought at Michigan State, and this is what Ben said, Iowa just took too long to get into their actions. He said that multiple times. I thought Bennett walked the ball up the floor. They were so paranoid about Michigan State getting out and running that I think it affected their approach. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think, once again, you kind of get smacked around quick, and it's like, all right, now what? And again, I imagine when they're going on those runs, you're like, all right, we got to get a good possession. We got to get a bucket. But it almost became a detriment where it was too slow. And I think sometimes, too, we've seen where they put Bennett, sometimes he's not bringing the ball up the court, right? Put him off in a corner and let him get into the action. Just, for one, he's an Iron Man. He's trying to play pretty much the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
But put him in situations where you can get him off the ball and let him come, eventually the ball's going to find him. But, when you're trying to bring it up with pressure, get it in, I'm sure he's gassed a little bit. The game was slow offensively, and, to coach's credit, he's saying, hey, we got to get into our action a lot quicker. We got to put these guys on their heels. And when you're walking the ball up and playing a slow pace, it's easy for those teams to defend.
Yeah, and I think when Bennett slows down, everything slows down. So much of the offense is predicated on what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is a tribute to him, but it's also a concern for me. I think his role on offense, to me, I wish it wasn't as important as it is, because I'm concerned that if anything ever happens to him or if he has bad, it's going to be impossible for them to overcome that. Do you see that, Adam, or do you think they have an identity beyond? Because without Bennett, obviously, Cale Combs is their best option at point guard. He's okay. He's not bad, but
yeah.
Do you think there's too much on Bennett's shoulders right now?
Well, I think early on, right, he's coming in with all the
hoopla.
And he's an incredible player, right? You're seeing what he can do.
Yeah, he's a good player. Good
we
kid.
watched it at Drake. We're seeing, he's making this adjustment, and he's getting a lot of pressure. I think they're learning together. All right, if teams are really going to come out and pressure him and double or
which they're doing,
hard hedge, somebody else has got to make a play, and he's got to find them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that's why the Michigan State and Iowa State games were good, because you're seeing a drastic difference of, Iowa State big time pressure, but I thought other guys stepped up and felt like, hey, we've got to make plays, right? If they're going to come out and really get after him, it's going to open some stuff up for us.
And it does.
And I think even the last game that we played, Western Michigan, other guys looked like they were, kind of taking charge a little bit. So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, a lot of things are going to run through him, but he is an All-American point guard.
No, you're right.
You're going to want the ball in his hands for his passing ability and just IQ playmaking. But, yeah, hopefully, we see some of these other guys step up, and it can take a little bit of the pressure off on him, because early on in the season, I'm with you, the ball in his hands, he was controlling everything on that offense, and it got stuck with him a little bit.
And I'm thinking at some point Brendan Hawson is going to play more, because I think Ben's going to say to himself, yes, of course we need defense, but my God, we need some shooters. We got to get something going in some of these matchups in the Big Ten grind. Don't you think his ability to make threes at some points are going to maybe get him some minutes where maybe his defense isn't where it needs to be, but they just got to say, because Ben said, he goes, there's going to be games where we need defenders. There's going to be games where we need shooters.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's such a rhythm guy, too. Coming in for 2 or 3 minutes, he's a really good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to want some more time on the floor just to get into a flow.
Sure,
I mean, he's had some big games when he was at Kansas State. So, we know he can shoot it. You can see it. He's got a great touch.
Quick release.
He's got a quick trigger, very quick release. I certainly think he's going to be an asset moving forward. And it was good in that blowout win against Western Michigan to see some of those guys get some extended minutes and maybe build some confidence heading into the new year.
And I think Alvaro Figueres needs to be more consistent. They need him to be an 8 to 15 point game scorer, consistently stay out of foul trouble. And, he needs a little more time to adjust. But no, I mean, they're 8-2. I mean, they're going to soon be 9-2, and they're going to beat Lowell and be 10-2. And so, I mean, I like where they are right now. And I've said to these guys, Tom, the Big Ten's got a lot of mediocre teams this year. I'll just go down Rutgers, Maryland, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Who else did Penn State?
Northwestern.
Who else? There's more. There's 7 teams. I don't think USC's that good. I mean, but do you agree, Adam? I think the Big Ten is very top heavy. Michigan State, Purdue, but I think
there's Washington.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not that crazy on them. And what do you think, though, Adam? I think this is a year where maybe Iowa can win 6 or 7 conference games against teams just because the other teams aren't that good.
Yeah, like I said, it still is a grind, though. I mean,
I know it's a grind. No, I get you.
A lot of this, and I think there's just it's one of those where you're right. There's some mediocrity, but like I watched pretty much the whole game when Minnesota knocked off Indiana. I mean, there's times where you got some of these teams that
at home. You're right.
Indiana's a world beater, but there's times where you got to go into some of these environments and you got to play well.
No, you're right. You do, especially on the road. You're right. I'll give you that. But I'll put Indiana in that group of teams I don't think is very good.
Yeah.
But
even again, average teams can.
No, you're right. Adam's right. On the road, these are going to be tough. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I could see Iowa winning a lot of home conference games this year.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
I think the style that we play with. I mean, the defense and rebounding. I've always said this. Like, if you mirror kind of like your Wisconsin teams back in the day, and even years when you didn't think they were going to be all that good, you're like, well, they defend, they rebound, and they don't turn the ball over at a high rate. They're going to get a chance to win every game.
No, you're right.
They don't shoot it well.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, not that we're Wisconsin-esque, but it's like, we are defending much better. You're keeping the game down
without
into
question. Yeah.
respectable numbers where, if you fall into a shooting role, you can make your way out of it if your defense is kind of the way we're playing. I mean, we get after it.
Yeah.
I think we disrupt teams. So I'm hopeful too, like you said, we can make a run in this league. But with that being said, you got to take care of home.
You got to take care
win
of
a couple
home.
of those games against those top teams in the league, especially when you come home. And those games you just mentioned, we got to make sure you're taking care of those Penn States, Minnesotas, those kind of teams of the world, Northwestern.
They already beat Maryland, Northwestern, Rutgers. Rutgers is terrible.
Yeah,
I've seen them play a couple times.
They lost a lot from a year ago.
They did, and they weren't good last year.
I mean, they were terrible last year with 2 first-round NBA
Well, 2 guys
picks.
were among the first 5 guys picked
Come
in the
on.
NBA. Yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic, but no, winning
that
on
goes
the
back to, and we talked about this too, I know last year, that goes back to you can have all the talent, but you got to play together.
Exactly.
Some of these guys, when you've got this NIL bucket of money or you got a couple superstars, you still have to play as a team.
Yep.
And I think that's one thing Iowa, with bringing some of those Drake guys in, they understand the system.
They do.
The offense is very creative. We run a bunch of horn set, zoom action. Like, there's some creative things that Ben's doing that I think he's trying to find a mismatch, and that's going to bode well. I mean, when guys are that clued in and it's not a one-on-one game and one guy trying to do it all, I think it helps us when we play as a team.
I guess when I was watching the Iowa State game, that first half, I kept saying to myself, this is exactly what Ben's system is. This is how he wants it to look. This is how he wants them to play on both ends of the floor. Did you feel that too?
I think it was rolling exactly. And if you had a game plan for how you're going to stop them, I mean, I thought we did a good job in the first half of neutralizing, Momcilovic. We were, Jefferson just ended up being the difference maker.
He's a good
and that's
player.
a dude that, he's different.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys in the country that I would say he's kind of Marcus Pfizer-esque, kind of that point forward. Where
Even bigger, though,
last
isn't he?
year he was a bang, get to the basket, like just inside the three-point line. Well, when he splashes 3 or 4 threes, now you got to come out and guard that. And he's just such a force to reckon with. That's why I think they're going to be really tough with, obviously Lipsy, Momcilovic, you got Jefferson, you got some of these other guys that just
Traore, the freshman guard.
Traore with the defense and just athleticism that he brings. They've got a lot of different wrinkles in there. And I think Ben did a great job of just trying to neutralize that stuff. And I think in the beginning, too, there was a lot of that, heavy kind of crab dribble, back you down, trying to bully you a little bit. And our defense really stood its ground, and we got rebounds and loose balls when we needed them. And apply a little pressure on a team like that, their game plan changes, and ultimately they had to make some adjustments at halftime, and they end up coming out on top.
I mean, Iowa was the better defensive team in the first half in that game. They extended their pressure, and they really took Iowa State out of their flow and rhythm. But Jefferson made a 3 from the top of the key in the second half, and that's when I said, nope, they're not going to lose this game. When I was talking about, do you remember? It was a huge one. Iowa, the momentum was kind of still shifting in Iowa's way, and then all of a sudden he makes this 3 from the top of the key. And it was a tough shot. I mean, and you got to give him credit. But that's when I said, they're not going to let Iowa get away with this. This kid, I didn't realize he was that good. He's got a chance to play in the NBA as a forward, doesn't he, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, they're kind of making that George Niang comparison and some of those. I mean, his ability to shoot it, and he is so big and strong and can get to the basket. His ball handling and everything else, court presence is much better than it was a year ago. So I think you really got to credit TJ and the staff and, even Jefferson himself, that there's been some major improvement on his game. And he's one of those that he's just a different guy in college right now. You've got to find a matchup for him, and I think he can score in a bunch of different ways. That kind of point forward or that position, think of Draymond Green and some of those guys, like there's a place for him in the NBA easily.
What about Lipsy?
I like his game.
You
He's
think
a
he can
tough
play in the
grinder.
NBA?
He's an Iowa kid, just hometown kid that just he's a great point guard. And Iowa State's put some pretty good guards in the NBA.
They have.
You look at kind of the pedigree. He's done some really good things, and I think if he has a really big Big 12 season and finishes the year out, that's another guy that you could look at. Does he have NBA potential?
And with Bennett, it's obvious. But don't you think also with Bennett, he needs to get on the right team in the NBA that will fit his style? Or do you think he's good enough to just adapt his style to any team that he joins?
I think he can adapt. I mean, the one thing with him that makes him even more dangerous, he's a really good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So not only does he have the ball skills and he's really good in the high pick and roll game, he's a great pocket passer. He's got some of those intangibles that I think the NBA is looking at, he can also shoot it. So, you know, you look at A.J. Green and what he's done. He's on the right team in Milwaukee, signed a big deal, has a, you know, a really good role in that league. It's about the right fit, and if you can find it, he could have a nice long career.
A.J. Green, is he more of a shooting guard in the NBA? I haven't really seen him play much in the NBA.
Yeah, he's a shooting guard, and again, one of those guys that can knock down threes, and he's done it at a really high clip. But he's more athletic, and he's a good defender. Like, he brings a lot to the table.
And he's a good 6'4", isn't he?
Yeah, and long. I mean, he's kind of like Bennett, long arms, big hands. Yeah,
that makes a big difference. You know, I mean, if Bennett was 6'1", he'd still be probably a hell of a basketball player, but he wouldn't project on any NBA draft boards, I would say. Now, shifting to the...
You can tell Bennett's he's got long hands and arms.
Yeah,
and,
he does.
You know, you look at how even some of those times he's kind of got that Jordan a couple times early in the season where they ran an out-of-bounds play where it's just an ISO, and he's out there like palming the ball and, you know, sizing a guy up. But he's just very patient and under control. Obviously, he's won at every level he's been at, so he'll get an opportunity.
And I like the fact he doesn't show a lot of negative emotion. You rarely see him look stressed out or in panic or anything. He just seems steady, and he doesn't overreact when things are good either. He's just kind of a steady force, which what you want from your point guard. You know, you want him to be a sort of a stabilizer, don't you?
He looks like the Murray brothers, right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah, you're right.
Scoring 30 or you're scoring 3. I mean, you don't know where they're at emotionally. And I think that's one thing for, you know, being a parent of kids, you know, show those kind of guys, like, look at these guys. They're not rattled. You know, at any point, you don't see, you know, occasionally when they're making a big run, he'll get excited. But, I mean, he is just very level, even keel. And I'm with you. That's a great attribute to have as a point guard and a leader of the team, that he just doesn't get too shaken up or caught up in emotion, and I think it settles everybody else down.
Shifting to the women, obviously a big challenge tomorrow. How do they pull off this upset besides scoring more points?
Yeah, I saw Gino's interview. You know, he talked about just, you know, Iowa's got some good players around the basket.
Which they do.
You know, we play defense. We got a lot of different people that can score. There's a lot of balance on this team. So we're going to need everybody to contribute. It's not just one person or, you know, having a Caitlin Clark, hey, we need her to go off for 35. We just need everybody to kind of step up and play their best game. We got to limit getting into foul trouble. And I think in the Iowa State game, that really hurt.
Ava Hayden.
You know, geez, that was just, I think if she's out there a little bit longer, and again, I think we slowed down in that game and we played to Iowa State's pace, you know, allowing Audie to come down and, you know, get set up on offense or defense. And, you know, I think in that when we made our run, we kind of got more into that faster pace, let, you know, Hannah and Ava, let them go to the basket. So, again, I think you got to limit the turnovers. You got to defend and rebound against this kind of team. This is a good UConn team.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, there's a reason why they're number one, and there's a lot of good teams out there. They've just got a lot of good talent, and we've got to find a way to stop them.
Got to get off to a quick start. I mean, they can't look up and be down 12-2 or it's over.
No.
I mean, they got to get off to or just avoid getting off to a bad start. I mean, you don't necessarily, I'm not saying they need to jump on UConn and leave. They just need to avoid a double-digit deficit like 5-10 minutes into the game. I mean, that's when your mind starts to work.
And I feel like we can play with them.
And it gives a little bit of confidence, right? The longer you can hang, I mean, we can play with these guys, right? And there is, I mean, you look at the talent level, you know, especially in women's sports, there's always been like those top 3 or 4 or 5 teams that are just loaded. And then you get the next kind of grouping and very talented. But this team there's a reason why, again, they're number one. And you just got to play mistake-free basketball. And you got to make shots. I mean, we're going to have to open up the outside to knock some shots down to then help us inside as well. So, and it'll be a fun game. I mean, it's one of those, it doesn't hurt you on a schedule.
No,
and I think
it really
allows
doesn't.
you to size up, all right, where are we?
Yeah.
You played a good game in Ames against a good team. Again, that was very winnable. Now you come back and you play a UConn team that's, you know, just, again, loaded with talent, and see where you stand. And I think it'll be a good kind of measuring game for where we're at.
They just need to avoid getting boat raced. I mean, that's about the only negative vibe you'll take from it if they lose by 30 or 40, which I don't think happens. If they lose a close game, yeah, you hate losing, but you're like, wow, you know, we're right there. We're not that far off. It's going to be interesting to see how well UConn plays, too. I mean, and I think Chit Chat, I think she's got to play well. I think to win a game like this, Adam, your point guard's got to at least have a pretty effective game, don't you?
Yeah, and I think it's good that she's, not just coming back off of, a recent.
She's had some time. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got some time to kind of get her way back in. And I know one of the last times that we talked, Jan, I listened to her in one of the interviews, and, she made a great point. We had to adjust when Chit Chat's not out there. That was kind of our guard that was setting everything up, making some things happen. And when she sat, now you're like, all right, now we got to go back to the drawing board and retool the offense a little bit to make it work without her. Now that she's back in, hopefully you can get into kind of a nice flow and get back to kind of the basketball you've been prepping for all fall and all summer.
Yeah, and I think Hannah Stokey, too, has to avoid foul trouble. And has to make, if she gets any easy gimmies near the basket, she's got to make them. Make them. This is a game where you got to make those ones. She seems to get a lot of gimmies because she's so athletic, and this is a game where you got to make them. But I think they need to have a big game from her, and having her scoring output the other night, I think that kind of reminds everybody, she can score. Prior to that, Adam, she had 3 and 10 points in her previous 2 games. But to come out like that, they made a concerted effort to get her involved. They need Hannah to score in double figures to reach their potential, don't they?
Yeah, she's definitely a wild card, And again, from the guard play, I think we're going to need some shots to fall from outside. So hopefully Taylor McCabe can get hot.
Yeah.
We'll see Strunlow. She seems to come up big for some buckets, and Feuerbach, she's got to be able to make some shots. So all around, when Gino's mentioning the balance and obviously the low post stuff, I think he sees we can score from a lot of different positions. There's not 3 or 4 people you can just eye and keep your, hey, we got to shut this person down. Hopefully with our depth, we can have some multiple people come in and contribute.
And if Emily Rodriguez, obviously she's not making the trip, but she hadn't played much in recent games anyway, and I wonder if that's kind of what led to whatever dysfunctions going on right now. So, yeah, they could use her, but her playing time was shrinking with each game, it seemed like. And like I said, maybe that's kind of what led to this thing. But no, they can go ahead.
It's a weird deal. I mean, obviously they're tight-lipped on what's going on.
Yeah, I've sent a text.
Hope everything's good and it'll work out. I mean, I know there's injury this, and now it looks like team violation, and you don't know what extreme it is. Is it missing class? Is it late for practices or missed a practice? Like, it's hard to tell. But she has incredible talent.
Oh, she does.
She's a little wild and crazy at times, and maybe, on her team that she played before, you could get away with a little bit of that. But within this structure, yeah, hopefully everything kind of works out, and this day of NIL and transfers and all that, like, you just never know what's going on in a kid's mind.
No, I mean, Iowa for a couple of weeks has been saying she's day-to-day, but they never would say what the injury was. Like I said, I just saw other media members saying, like, I saw somebody put back in parentheses when they were talking about her injury. I was never told by Iowa that it was a back injury, so I'm not comfortable talking about injuries if I don't know for sure what they are. So, but yeah, that was been the line, though. It's injuries. Now, I've reached out to Iowa and asked if they're going to be putting out a release acknowledging that she is suspended and not just day-to-day because of injuries, and I've not heard anything back yet, which is unusual. But they also may be in a staff meeting right now. But if I don't hear anything back today, that will be unusual. And that just makes you wonder, I mean, because Iowa is about the only one that's not speculating on what's going on with her. And for a while, they did say it was day-to-day. She would lump the 3 together, Tegan, Emily, and Chit Chat when they're out, saying they were all out for medical reasons day-to-day. And Emily has not played in any game since then. So obviously, yeah, it's just a weird situation. And it'll be interesting to see if Iowa's acknowledged people being suspended before. I don't know why this would be any different. So we'll see. Like I said, I sent out a text about 40 minutes ago and have not heard back. But again, they could be in a staff meeting from 9 to 10 or whatever. But I'm sure I'll hear back something, maybe off the record or whatever. But until I do hear from Iowa, I'm just kind of hesitant on what to think on this situation. It's weird. There's just so much.
Because it's all speculation.
It's all speculation. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So
don't dive too deep in when you don't know enough, about what's really going on.
It's just kind of weird that she hasn't played since she did that wild trip down the court, the 2 360 spins and threw that wild shot up there. I don't think she's played since
Harlem
then.
Globetrotters.
Yes, at a time when they were kind of maybe trying to work the clock a little bit, take each possession down a little bit, and it's kind of ironic that that's the last time we've really seen her on the court. And
Yeah,
so
it is bizarre.
But yeah, I remember thinking this year it's going to be interesting to see how well she fits in. This is a completely new atmosphere for her. She's not starting. There's a lot going on there.
And she had to star in their team last year because they weren't very good.
They weren't very good, and you know she was Central Florida, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's just a lot that she's from the Dominican Republic, so this is an adjustment on and off the court for everything from the weather to the community to so many things. And maybe it just kind of came at her too fast. But again, we're all speculating because Iowa still hasn't said what her situation is, you know. And it will be interesting because you heard those times. Jan referred to her as day to day multiple times over the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
You know, so
and it's somebody too that fans are interested in because extremely talented.
Yeah.
Could really be a help for this team, and just she's unique. She can get to the basket.
Yep.
She's creative on getting her own shots up. Like those are things that some of these girls they need screens or they need something to free up. I mean, she was one of those that she could make plays happen.
I think you could argue that she's the most natural scorer on the team. Just give her the ball, and all she needs.
Well, I think if you're going to play a one-on-one game and you're going to choose anybody on the team that's going to win, I mean, she's probably. I'm going to place my bet on her.
Me too.
She's got moves to get shots off and get to the rim and pull up jumpers. Like, she'd be a tough one to guard.
And what's incredible about her too is she usually only needs one or two dribbles to get a shot off. She's not one of those dribble. She's really good at doing that. But yeah, hopefully it works out for her. But if it doesn't, life goes on. They'll be fine without her. It may not be fine tomorrow. I mean, but no, you're right. This will be a good test because do I think they're going to win? No, but I also don't think they're going to get blown out. I really don't, but I do think if Gino has a chance to blow them out, I think he will.
He sure will.
Don't you, Adam? I think Gino wants to send a message.
He'll step on people's throats.
He's tired of the Caitlin Clark love fest. They lost. He wants to get the access back the way
he hasn't forgotten that.
No,
game.
So yeah, I think Gino's going for the jugular tomorrow, but that's good for Iowa. That's good for Iowa to try to face this. It's a neutral court, but it's also a lot closer to Connecticut than it is Iowa. Sure. There's going to be a ton of UCAM fans there.
Yeah, it's going to be loaded with. It'll be a hostile environment, even on a neutral floor. Are you going anywhere this weekend?
No, John Bonenkamp's covering the men for us, and nobody in the Iowa media is going out to New York. It's just too expensive with all the other stuff going on with the bowl and everything. I don't think there's one member of the Iowa media that's going out to New York for this. There's just not the time or the finances right now. So, but no, I will watch the Iowa women's game on TV. I'll write something up and follow it with the stat tracker and post-game and what have you, and then John Bonenkamp will be in Des Moines covering the men for Hawkfanatic against Bucknell. And
so Iowa men are at 5, and then what time?
Women are at 12:30, I believe, aren't they?
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Iowa men are at 5.
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see what kind of crowd turns out for that. I mean, people going to that game, I don't think they really care that much who the opponent is. Yeah, and what I did like what Ben said yesterday, they want a Power 5 opponent. They want to play in Des Moines once a year, but they want it to be a Power 5 opponent. And I think that's a good – hey, here's an idea. How about Drake? Not that Drake's a legitimate Power 5. I get that. They're not like an upper – but what do you think, Adam? I like the fact that he wasn't bad-mouthing Bucknell, but he was basically saying without saying, we want to play better opponents than this. That's kind of our goal.
Yeah, and I think the give and take anymore. Like, we obviously had the Palestra. That's an awesome environment.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fans and the kids and players, everybody really enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, in Des Moines, that's a great place to it's not far for us, but you can grab a whole bunch of Iowa fans that maybe it's not as convenient to come over here, get a bunch of people in there, and if you can do some of those neutral site games where you can get some bigger teams where you play here one year, maybe Oklahoma City or somewhere, just some other neutral site for another team, I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
I like it. And I think, too, when we played over in Moline or Quad Cities, yeah, that's another – I think the fans and everybody over there showed up, and I know Fran and all those guys last year were really excited about it. Granted, you had a couple guys from the Quad Cities there, but, yeah, I think it's good to go play around a little bit.
Push your brand, yeah.
Okay, I agree with that, but let me also say, as a season ticket holder, that the out-of-conference games at Carver this year have been miserable.
This year?
Yeah. Robert Morris, Western Illinois, Xavier, SEMO, Chicago State, Western Michigan, and UMass Lowell. I mean,
that's brutal.
There's not a single game on there of those games where you sit there, man, I can't wait for this game.
And now Iowa will say, well, it's not our fault that Xavier is horrible. And you're right.
And no, that's true.
Because Xavier is horrible. I mean,
and I think, too, even the Ole Miss game and some of those, I think when I first looked at the schedule and we talked early in the year, I'm like, this isn't a bad schedule for a young team, or a newer team trying to find their way
without question, yes.
Yeah, I saw that schedule. I'm like, this isn't bad.
But Tom's talking as somebody who wants to be entertained.
I'm talking about a home schedule to interest a fan base that has not been interested for a long time in the program.
Yeah, I mean, that Western Michigan game, it was 71-21.
It was ridiculous. I mean, the whole schedule has been the games are over early, and it's hard to get people fired up like that.
Well, and I think, too, like when I was in school, we did the Big Ten ACC Challenge. That was always a really good event where, you knew, like the one year I think we had North Carolina State in and Virginia Tech.
Coaches versus Cancer.
Yeah. Those games were
but
all
there were some of those, like back in the day where you got some of those good early season games underneath your belt.
But they're not doing that anymore.
No, I know, and it'll be interesting to see once he's got, the staff's got a full year under their belt, and they can really look at the schedule and get some things kind of planned out. I mean, again, this thing got pieced together late in the year.
No, you're right.
Right? You take over, and now you're trying to find your way and schedule not only non-conference, but then you're going to have the Big Ten that's obviously set for you. Yeah, I think they're going to want to move in that direction where they've got bigger teams coming in early. But again, you got to get that agreed upon.
You do have to have. You got to have some wins on your schedule too. I get that.
I know, but again, I'm going to go back to an old argument. They've got so many opportunities to play Drake and Iowa in home and aways. Don't you think going to the Knapp Center to play? Even I don't think Drake's very good this year, but even playing Drake at the Knapp Center, wouldn't that be a better test for Iowa than playing Western Michigan? Isn't that? Am I missing something, Adam?
No, I would agree. I mean, just as a guy that's grown up in Iowa, when I was at Iowa State and even at Iowa, I liked those games because I knew those guys.
Yeah,
right? We played in the Primetime League, or guys played in the Capital City League, and there was a lot of familiarity between us. But again, I think it was good for the crowds and the state, and going and playing. And you and I, granted, we played in the Dome back in the day, but then Knapp Center was a crazy hostile environment, and it felt like a 50-50 mix. I mean, there was probably more Drake fans, but Iowa fans showed up.
Sure.
And, it's good for the betterment of basketball, and I also like not having to travel 5-6 hours away if you didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
And even if it's not a competitive game, I mean, knowing that Drake is coming into Carver Hawkeye or UNI, there's just a little extra interest there for a lot of the fans too. And I think it's got to be for the players, some of the players too.
Well, and I think too. I mean, like I've always said, if you're doing a regional look, Missouri, I think that would be a natural fit for another game where you go home and away, and then.
Yep.
You've got Creighton, obviously. We scrimmage SLU, I know preseason. But some of these teams, just where you've got some regional, you don't have to go a long ways, but I think fans would be interested
Marquette?
to see, obviously, a Creighton matchup.
Yeah. How about Marquette?
Marquette.
They're not even that good
Marquette's
this year.
Another one.
Marquette's another one that's not that far away, which would be, I think, more interesting. Hell, I think playing Bradley would be more interesting than playing Chicago State or whatever.
And even DePaul.
Or DePaul or whatever. But, yeah, we can go on and on about it. There's a lot of...
But I think once the staff kind of, you get 1 year under your belt, they're going to be able to kind of look ahead and figure out what they want to do to get some of these teams scheduled.
No, you're right. You're right.
I imagine they're thinking the same thing. If you're going to try to prep your team for competitive Big Ten play and you're going to look at RPIs and everything at the end of the year, you're going to want to beef up the schedule.
Well, I still haven't been given a good answer why the women can play Drake but the men can't. There is no good answer. And what's weird about it is Iowa gets blamed for it a lot more than Iowa State. Iowa State's doing the exact same thing.
They are.
They're doing the exact, but they kind of hid behind Iowa because let's face it, Fran did not want to ever go back to UNI after he got ejected. He was done, and
I'm not going back.
I'm not going. That was the beginning of the end of that, and I get that. But hopefully they will review that. Ben was asked about that at his introductory press conference, and he did not seem interested at all.
No, he sure didn't.
So I think he had already been kind of told by Iowa, this is why we're not going to do it. But we could beat on this forever. But I mean, God, we've kept him on for. I mean, Adam's he's got the world to save financially. Hey, what's going on with the stock market right now?
Markets were up this morning.
Okay.
So. Little end of the year on a Friday to be green, I don't think is a bad thing.
No, I mean I will say the stock market's been holding pretty steady, which is nice to know, of course. So I'm trying to think, we got anything else? Adam, we've kept you on for like 35 minutes, right? We know you got to get back to work. Tom, anything else?
No, we could talk to you forever. We can't. Once we get a little farther in, get into the meat of the schedule, it'd be great to have you on again.
Yeah, I'll just keep reaching out to you each week, text message, and you kind of fit it into your schedule because we'll work around your schedule, obviously.
Hey, that sounds great, fellas.
All right, Adam.
Well, I don't talk to you. Have a Merry Christmas
You too.
And Happy Holidays, and we'll stay connected here. Go Hawks.
All right,
Merry
thanks,
Christmas.
Adam. Merry Christmas. See you.
Yep, see you guys.
All right, we got to take our quick break, and we will be back with even more.
Your life is always changing, and a lot of things can affect how and what you save. So a good retirement plan changes with your life. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. So start a conversation today. Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far. For information locally, call 338-3799 or 866-217-2369 or stop by 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201, Coralville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams, is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic, and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
Hi, this is Jill Sterner with Sterner Taxidermy in Lone Tree. It's hunting season again, and I'm inviting all of you hunters to follow us on our Facebook page. You can view Dirk's award-winning artistry, his workmanship that he completes with each individual piece. We can be reached at 319-330-1774. Again, 319-330-1774.
When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
You hungry? The Oxyokin Sunday Brunch Buffet offers so many choices of fresh entrees, homemade salads, waffles, omelets made to order, pastries, 3 tiers of desserts, and much more. Such a great value. You can always eat out, but not every place serves an experience. Serve 9 until 2. See you this Sunday. You'll always leave happy at the Oxyokin in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyokin.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Hanging lights is a pain. Dealing with blown bulbs, dangerous installations, and the endless rat's nest of cords, there's got to be a better way, and now there is. Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuma Lights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course, lighting for the best season, football season. The Illumilights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illumilights LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. No more ladders, no more hooks, no more wifey's dirty looks. That's the song you'll be singing all year long with Illumilights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Find out more at BigDogTek.net or call 319-395-0800.
It's that wonderful time of the year. Moments of eating too much, spending time with family, in some cases maybe even trying to avoid family. However you choose to celebrate, the Diamond Dental team of Dr. Forbes, Kate, Michelle, and Michaela would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. Here is hoping you enjoy every minute of this joyous time of the year. Rest assured, Diamond Dental is here, providing superior care for your entire family during the holiday season and all year long.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
check out the best source for your Iowa City area high school sports coverage. Go to yourprepsports.com. Hi, this is Pat Hardy. City High, West High, Liberty High, Regina, West Branch, Solon, Clear Creek, Amana. Your Prep Sports has all the boys and girls high school sports you crave. You'll get free, in-depth reporting from dedicated sports journalists on your favorite teams: football, basketball, golf, volleyball, track, softball, and baseball seasons. Profiles, pictures, video, and more. Get in on the action. Go to yourprepsports.com today and spread the word.
There's a problem here in eastern Iowa. There's not enough Hawkeye fans. I mean, really, shouldn't everybody be a Hawkeye fan? Well, maybe not, but you should be a fan of my team at Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson, and my team of experts at Hawkeye Title and Settlement know what they're doing. Call us at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Rodney Price, a sunny to mostly sunny afternoon shaping up across the area with high temperatures in the upper 20s. Our winds will turn to the southeast, and they'll get a little gusty in the afternoon. More clouds on the way for the overnight, and with the help of that southeast breeze, temperatures will actually start to rise. Lower 30s by dawn. Clouds giving way to sunshine, upper 30s Saturday afternoon. That's KCJJ weather. Currently 8 degrees.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
And Hawkfanatic is back.
And still fanatical, Jim.
Yes, after a great conversation with Adam Haleska.
Always good to talk to Adam.
He's just
very level-headed.
Yep.
Well, that's how he played basketball, too. He was just very cool. He was just a really good basketball player, very athletic. Loved watching him play.
Yep. So,
God, I think it was almost 20 years ago.
I know, isn't that crazy? That is just crazy.
Just looking to see if there's any updates. Not seeing anything. But yeah, still.
We'll find out soon enough, and we'll be able
Iowa
to.
may not release anything.
They might not.
They may not. I mean, they may not say anything. Now, Jan will be interviewed after the game. Now, although there won't be any Iowa media there, and my guess is the people at UConn couldn't care less if a reserve is playing for Iowa or not.
Yeah,
so that would be interesting.
Hello.
Hey, morning, guys. How we doing?
We're doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Hey, do we know, are there any sit-outs for the bowl game at all? Does anybody proclaim they're not going to play?
Not for either team, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, so we'll get their quarterback then.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely playing.
Okay. Very cool. I didn't know because I hadn't heard anybody talk about the bowl game too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if we had any sit-outs because, that's the thing to do, I guess, these days is to sit out bowl games to make sure you don't get injured before the draft.
And some teams are even
That's it. That's all I wanted. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No. Okay. No, that's all I was wondering, Mr. Suter. I just hadn't heard anything, and, I've been listening to you guys. Even though don't call every day, I listen when I'm on the road. You know that. So
good. Well, where are you?
Eau Claire, Wisconsin, up in the Great White North.
Our band played 2 different places in Eau Claire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good.
It's a nice little town.
It is.
There's a Nestle factory up here that makes these little shakes, power shakes, in the little cartons, and they serve them in the United States, but most of what they do goes up to Canada. So.
And let me guess, they use corn syrup in their product?
Yes. See, that's what keeps me in business. It keeps me traveling around the country. So.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, Jerry,
I did want to. I'm sorry, Mr. Suter. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if we don't hear from you again, you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and safe travels, friend.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I appreciate you guys keeping me company. I know there's a lot of listeners out there, and we all appreciate what you guys do. It's so good to be like this year. I've gone as far out. Well, we talked about being out in California, and here I am sitting listening to you guys on the app out in California. I thought that was pretty cool to be able to do that while I was
cool
traveling along. So thanks for keeping me company as I travel throughout the country.
Well, happy to do it, and without folks like you, we wouldn't be doing it.
Well, I love listening to you guys, and I like the info I get. And thank you very much. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and go Hawks.
And go Hawks, and you take care, friend.
I will. Thanks, Mr. Suter.
All right.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Oh, go Packers, too, by the way.
Let's go Packers. Yeah, you bet.
Go, Pack, go. Let's go, Jim.
Go Packers. I don't think I've ever said that.
You just did.
No, I can imagine. I would think that I would hear hockey scores from you before I'd hear go Pack, go out of you.
Actually, I take that back. One game this year, I said go Packers. And that's when I picked them in my survivor pool.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, who'd you pick them against?
I can't even remember. But I finished tied for the top, and got $577 for it.
I got knocked out in week 2. So
yeah,
I was done. I was glad to contribute my money to the pool.
Yeah, those.
But anyway, thank you again for everything you guys.
Right.
Take care and all the best.
All right, take care, friend.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Well, Tom, you were right about the availability of players. The Big Ten does. Players who aren't available to play are listed on the Big Ten availability report prior to the game. I didn't realize they did that for basketball.
Yes. I don't recall seeing it in years past, but I did see it.
They've been doing it for football 2 hours prior to kickoff. They released that thing, and everyone refers to that now. So I don't know if we're going to get – I don't know. This will be interesting. I mean – So we'll see. I mean, obviously she's not making the trip, but I don't know if we're ever going to get Iowa to acknowledge that she is suspended. I don't know. I mean, because I have not seen any acknowledgement from Iowa on that. Have you?
Do they have to acknowledge something like that?
I don't know if they technically do. No, I don't know. If it's a personal issue, I don't know. And the one thing from Talia Goodman said she was suspended for violating team policy.
Yeah, team rules, yes.
Team rule, but is
that can be anything. That could be conduct, missing, being late for practice, not communicating with your coaches that you're going to be late, not going to.
And here's a thought too:
meeting.
she could also not be making the trip and still not be technically suspended either.
I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah.
And I got to be careful what I say on the air right now, but a lot of this is semantics. I mean, if she's not making the trip,
then why don't we have any information?
Because maybe she doesn't want Iowa to release anything.
Well,
Okay.
there is a I mean, you have to medical protocol, isn't
But
it?
if it's not medical,
But who's saying it's not is what I'm saying. We don't.
Yeah.
Who's saying? Talia Goodman.
Oh, okay, but what I'm saying though is Iowa is not acknowledging that.
That's right.
So I mean, it's just,
it's very fascinating to me.
I don't know, fascinating. To me, it's annoying. I don't know if fascinating is the right word for it, but I mean, you got to be respectful of people's privacy. If there is anything injury related, they can't comment if the player doesn't want it to be. But
That's
if it's
correct.
suspension related, and they choose not to comment, I don't know exactly everything that's involved in this. Obviously, she's not going to make the trip. It will be interesting if she sticks around. I mean, if she's going to leave, this is the time. I mean,
yes.
I mean, we're going into the 6-week break right now, and this would be the time to leave if she's going to leave.
Yep.
And so we shall see. It's unfortunate.
Well, I hope they work it out. I guess she's a good player, but if
she's not happy here,
or if the coaches aren't happy with
what
her
she's doing, then
assimilation.
obviously maybe there needs to be a change.
Well,
or
maybe there
something.
does.
Yeah. So who knows? So just let it play out. I still haven't written my advance for tomorrow, so basically I'm just going to use the word reportedly, unless Iowa. But I've been told nothing. It doesn't look like anything's coming out from Iowa, and we'll have to wait until Jan talks about it in the post game tomorrow. But my guess is, though, you think anyone from UConn's going to ask about Emily Rodriguez?
No, not at all.
I mean, some of them probably don't even know anything about her because she hasn't played for so long.
Right.
And not like Jan. Oh, by the way, you guys, even though no one's asked, here's some Emily Rod. I don't think Jan's going to volunteer that information on her own either.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see what happens without any Iowa media there.
So they left yesterday?
Yes.
The women's team. Now, when does the football team head out?
I think, did they say the 25th or the 26th? Something?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. They said the date. I don't remember for sure, though. I know that football they have, I think Kirk said they have this weekend off. Or I could be getting it mixed up with another coach saying that.
No, I think he did.
Yeah, and that, and then they'll really start in earnest next week. They hadn't even done anything when we were asking the players yesterday. They hadn't done anything on Vanderbilt yet. They hadn't even started any Vanderbilt preparation. But then I'm thinking about it. You know, they're still. I mean, they'll have a full week to prepare for Vanderbilt. That's enough.
I think when they're saying, we haven't looked at Vanderbilt yet. The coaches have. They just haven't done it with the team.
Player,
yet.
the players said yesterday we have not had any much discussion at all about Vanderbilt prep, and Kirk even said that will start in earnest Monday.
Yeah.
And let's see, what day is Monday? That day of the week is that? Is that the 22nd?
Yes.
So they'll still have 8 days or 9 days before the game,
that's
so
right.
that'll give them plenty of time to prepare. Both teams will have all the information they need, and like I said, I think outside of the playoff games, that Iowa's bowl game looks like one of the more interesting matchups on paper. I think it's going to be a really good game, and right now I'm probably more likely to pick Vanderbilt, just from a completely objective pick. Because, I mean, if they're supposedly going to play with a chip on their shoulder because they felt they deserved the playoff, what better way to show that you deserve to be in the playoff than coming and winning a game like this?
And coming and
So
smacking
I don't think it's going to be one of those where they're just going through the motions. We're too good for this. We don't want to be there. I think they want to use this as a sort of a platform to say, hey, you overlooked us. And let's face it, this is Vanderbilt. They don't have a lot of rich tradition in
that's true.
Football.
Nobody has been able to boat race Iowa yet.
No.
So I'm not sure that
I don't think
either.
I don't think Vanderbilt, if they win, I don't think they're going to boat. But I do think you could make a strong case for Vanderbilt winning this game. And I think outside of Iowa, most people will be picking Vanderbilt.
I think that's probably accurate.
Yeah, I think most people who don't really have a stake in it, I think, of course, a lot of Iowa fans, like I'm sure by the time this game starts, you will be convinced that Iowa's going to win, would be my prediction. You will have convinced, and which is fine. I'm not, but I think that will be common with a lot of Iowa fans. But I think outside of the Iowa connection, my guess is most people. Well, I think Vanderbilt's. I mean, look at Iowa; they've got 4 losses. Vanderbilt's got the Heisman runner-up. Iowa can't score. I think there'll be a lot more doubt outside of the Iowa fan base, and I'm sure the Vanderbilt fans think they're going to win.
Well, I imagine.
So, but no, it looks like it's going to be.
This is one of their best teams ever.
It looks like it's going to be a really good matchup on paper. Hopefully, it will play out on the field that way.
The early line has it between 4.5 and 5.5 points
For Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Which is, that seems fair, as it should be.
Well, they had, 2 losses, and we had 4?
Yeah, and their way more yards than Iowa. You can't even, I mean, he had 4,100 yards total this year. I mean, Gronowski didn't even have 3 if you combine his passing and running.
Mm-hmm.
He passed for, about 1,600 and ran for like 490 or something like that. So, yeah, no, yardage-wise, there's no comparison.
Well, no, he's a heck of a runner.
He's a good runner, but I will say that Iowa's defense compares favorably to every defense he's played, even the defenses in the SEC. Iowa's defense is as good as those defenses. So, like I said, this will be a master strategy opportunity for Phil Parker to see what he has. Because remember when Norm had a little bit of time to prepare for Georgia. Now, that Georgia Tech team was not very good.
No, they weren't.
They weren't, but still, Norm made them look not very good, too, because he basically shut down. That quarterback couldn't run the ball. They were done.
Triple option,
they were
whatever
done.
it was.
That was a boring game.
Oh, man.
That was one of the worst Orange Bowls ever. Were you there?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Wasn't it boring, though? I mean, that Georgia Tech was such a boring team to watch play.
I wouldn't call it. I didn't enjoy their team very much.
Wasn't it 24-14?
I mean, it was a pretty solid win, I thought.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Georgia Tech could not do anything on offense. I mean, they were just completely neutralized on offense. And they just weren't a very good team. And that somehow they made it through all those wins being really one-dimensional on offense, and Norm just had enough time to prepare, and boom, he shut them down.
Yeah, he sure did.
So,
but it was the first Orange Bowl. No, the second one, the Georgia Tech one, more than boring, it was freaking cold.
It was cold. Now, I was in a press box, but I remember walking to the press box saying, God, this sucks. I think because wasn't it like almost as warm back in Iowa at the time?
It was, and it was freaking cold. We didn't have enough clothes.
And now, it wasn't like the Gator Bowl in '83 where I wasn't at that game, obviously. You weren't at that, were you?
No.
But that was the one in Jacksonville that literally was below zero wind chill.
Wow.
I remember that. I remember watching that game in Des Moines out at a party in Urbandale, and I remember them talking. It was warmer where we were than there.
And man, it was cold.
Yeah, no, it was cold. That one, after that, I don't know. There was just that bowl game. I'm glad Iowa won, don't get me wrong, but that game just was very uneventful. Anticlimactic.
I would agree.
I just didn't think Georgia Tech put up much of a fight at all.
They didn't.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
Patience.
I didn't realize we had somebody on.
Well,
sorry.
Not for very long, we didn't.
I think that was Paul. Paul would have waited.
Oh, he would have waited.
Paul would have waited.
Yeah.
Sorry, caller. You can call back, or are we done? It's 10:30.
I believe we're done. We should wrap it up.
And we're doing
Are you and Tommy got some police reports?
We do.
Okay. All right.
And then we're doing a show tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll remember I brought new Frosty Paws. I'll remember to bring them in.
Oh, great.
Was she here last Saturday with you?
She was.
Yeah.
How'd
she handle? Did she bark wondering where I was?
No, she handled your absence.
Did she have treats?
She had.
She always has.
She got milk bones.
Oh, they're over there. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I bought a whole new box. I'll bring Frosty Paws in tomorrow.
She'll be happy.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks to Adam Haluska for joining us this morning, and Tommy Lang and Jim Hunter are next with police reports. Hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner